俺がいないところで面白いことやってんな。
Once again, you have the nightmare that's been haunting you countless nights. The film of memories has begun to yellow, but the scenes in the dream grow more vivid, as if reminding you to never forget that day. Tianhua Street. 2 years ago, a suspected monster attack occurred in Elysian Street, the main residential area for humans, resulting in 3 casualties. It happened so suddenly, and you and Luke were dispatched to the scene right away to investigate without any backup or contingency plans. You were ready for the worst, but the damage was just way beyond what you expected. I'll treat the injured and contact backup. Luke. Just as you are acting as usual, Luke unexpectedly stops in his tracks, clutching his forehead with a pained expression. Luke?
心配するな。大したことじゃない。この辺に残ってる妖力が悪さをしたみたいだ。お前も気をつけてくれ。
Luke's power comes from Tao Wu, one of the four great evil beasts, so he is more sensitive to demonic power. That means he is also more vulnerable to its effects. I understand. Don't push yourself too much.
3年も組んでると強がってもバレちまうもんだな。まあいつも通り俺が様子を見てくるよ。
After making sure once again that Luke is physically fine, you nod and watch his figure disappear into the end of the alley. You finish your work as fast as you can and then immediately send a signal to Luke, but there is no reply from him. The darkness is like a lurking beast, slowly devouring you along with the rising mist. My head is spinning. This demonic power, could it be Tao Wu? You use all your demonic power to maintain the communication hub with Luke and the Omnispirit's Bureau, ensuring that rescue could reach Luke as quickly as possible. After some time, your consciousness gets all jumbled as the mist creeps in and you can't see clearly anymore. Luke, where are you? Before completely losing consciousness, you faintly hear his voice calling out to you. It is so gentle, like something out of a dream.
もう大丈夫だ。俺がいるからな。
Luke! You try to respond to him only to find your words drowned out by the flood of voices. Those cold, doubting, and mocking voices force you to stand against Luke. Omnispirit's Bureau.
被害者は例外なく頭骨の力によって傷つけられ、全員の体に同じ印が残されていた。それは紛れもなく頭骨の痕跡。他の妖怪には決して真似できないものである。以上、天下通りで起きた傷害事件の犯人は水瀬夏彦。彼が頭骨の力を暴走させたのだ。
Impossible. I've worked with him for 3 years and he has never once lost control of his power.
君の気持ちはよくわかる。生死を共にした仲間ゆえに、水瀬をかばうつもりだろう。だが、彼は妖力に飲み込まれて理性を失った可能性が高い。もはや君の知る彼ではないぞ。彼は事件を他の妖怪による殺人に見せかけるため、捜査官の立場を利用し、天下通りで罠を仕掛けた。君も襲われるところだったのだ。我々が駆けつけなければ、取り返しのつかないことになったかもしれない。
There's definitely some misunderstanding. We need to investigate more thoroughly. We can't just pin the blame on him. Like that.
捜査官の忠誠を思い出せ。制限のもとに応えるがいい。 お前の首の後ろについた印には水瀬の妖力が残っているのではないか。
You touch that mark on your neck, and there's this warm feeling. It's something only Luke has. Past oath prevents you from telling a lie, leaving you trembling in silence.
お前が認めようと認めまいと、もはや結果は変わらない。なぜなら、水瀬夏彦は、己が罪を認めているのだからな。
Safe house. You jolt awake from your dream, opening your eyes to stare at the grayish ceiling where an old chandelier casts its harsh light, reminding you it's real world now. Luke's voice faintly comes through the phone as you get up and tap the screen, making the looping video start playing from the beginning again. This is the confidential interrogation file that you finally obtained 2 years ago with a special approval from your superiors. Even after watching it so many times, seeing Luke's haggard face still breaks your heart. Let me watch it again. There might be clues I haven't discovered yet. You take a deep breath and press the play button. Interrogation room. In the dim and narrow interrogation room, Luke sits in a corner, his hands bound by handcuffs that surprise his demonic power.
水瀬夏彦、お前に不利な証拠が上がったぞ。事件現場でお前を見たという目撃者がいる。
あの夜は濃い霧が出ていたはずです。本当に犯人の顔をはっきりと見たんですか？
うん。その証言を退けたとして、被害者の体につけられていた頭骨の印をどう説明する？この世で頭骨の力を操れるのはお前以外にいないだろう。
捜査官規則第11条。正確な捜査を行わない限り、いかなる結論も覆される可能性がある。お前たちは頭骨の力の根源を調べてから言ってるんだよな。いいか、この世に絶対なんてない。
Even the experienced interrogator can't refute Luke, and all he can do is sigh.
これ以上尋問を続けたところで大した成果が出ないことは分かっている。とはいえこの事件は大きな波紋を呼んだ。人もあやかしも早期解決を願っている。現状お前は有罪となるだろう。無論このまま否認を続けることもできるが、長引いた時お前の相棒とやらにどんな影響があるのか考えたことがあるか？
As the topic changes to you, Luke's eyes are slightly sweet.
彼女は法廷での証言を拒み続け、今も君を弁護する方法を探している。世論を収めるために上層部は彼女を一時的に移動させたが、このままでは解任の可能性もあるぞ。
この件と彼女は無関係です。
他に容疑者はいないのだ。周囲の人間が関与していないとは言えない。事件に進展が望めないのであれば、次に取り調べを受けるのは相棒の彼女だろうな。
Luke looks up at him, clearly seeing through all the threats hidden beneath his words. He shows no signs of backing down or yielding to the threats. Instead, he smiles calmly as if he has made up his mind about something.
全部俺がやった。そう言えば満足なんだろう。お前たちに付き合ってやるよ。ただし、こっちにも条件がある。37捜査局の連中に合わせてくれ。
Safe house. The video ends here. Shortly after this interrogation, the investigation bureau announced that Luke had confessed and accepted his sentence. Division 37 is special in the Omnispirits Bureau and rarely discloses any information to the public, as it's also known as the Sinner's Lodge. If agents commit serious crimes, they will be assigned to dangerous tasks in exchange for reduced sentences. You can't accept this outcome, and all your appeals are rejected by the higher ups. As an ordinary agent, you don't even have access to the case files, so after that, you make up your mind. You must become stronger no matter what and uncover the truth behind this case. It's almost time for the task. You quickly compose yourself, lock your phone in the safe, and leave the cabin after checking the equipment and weapons. Safe house. Outside the door, your team members have also finished their final resupply and are ready to go.
隊長、
Is everyone ready?
はい、いつでも出られます。
The young man before you is a new investigator, his face still bearing traces of inexperience. He always seemed very nervous when speaking to you. For the past 2 years, you've devoted yourself to working at the Omni Spirits Bureau in order to gain higher investigative authority. By continuously taking on higher risk tasks, you finally become a senior agent in record time and are given the code name Rosa. Need to be so loud. Even though this isn't the target's active area, we're still on a confidential task.
申し訳ありません。あの伝説のローズ捜査官の下で働くなんて夢のようで。たった2年で上級捜査官になったのですよね。足手まといにならないか不安で不安で。
Besides investigating the Elysian Street case, you've also been searching for Division 37, which Luke mentioned during the interrogation. This task has some really crucial clues, so you immediately request to come to the scene. Senior agents just have more experience under their belt. That's all. Don't feel pressured, just stay calm and be yourself. He nods with a tense body, his rookie demeanor reminding you of the past. However, the urgency of the situation leaves no room for reminiscing. How's the situation now?
指示通り、シークの揚力封鎖は完了。救援部隊も配置済みです。
Good. Inform all team members that we'll begin the operation in 5 minutes.
了解。ところで、隊長自ら前線に向かわれるのですか。やりすぎではないでしょうか。
Things might not be as simple as you think. The enemy we're facing is very cunning. Seeing his puzzled expression, you don't explain any further and focus on the upcoming operation. On this mystic path of crisis, at least for now, you have to seek the direction by yourself. District C Street. The civilians in this area have been evacuated to the safe zone. The streets are now enveloped in a deathly silence like a ghost realm. According to intel, 2 humans and 4 monsters mysteriously disappeared in Zone C recently. On the night of their disappearance, there was an unusual thick fog. It's very similar to what happened that day. The mark on your nape is slightly hot. It's resonating with the lingering demonic power in the air, guiding you toward the dilapidated alley ahead. I can sense Star Wars power here. That person must be here. You contain your emotions while sending signals to your teammates, slowly inching along the wall toward the target. With the help of the detector, you can still sense the surroundings despite your blurry vision. There are people at 12 and 6 o'clock, no vital signs. Could they be the victims? After the Elysian Street case, no similar cases have ever been seen again, as Star Wars power is sealed away along with Luke. Over the years, he has perfected hiding his power. He keeps switching up his methods, never leaves any survivors, and can even find new scapegoats. Therefore, as the sole survivor, only you can sense the connections between multiple cases through the mark. They are done by the same person. The victim's body is still warm. The killer must be nearby. possibly hiding around the corner of this alley. The detector is interfered by his demonic power. He must be a pro. My invisibility spell is running out in just 10 seconds. It's now or never. Even a second of hesitation would let him slip away. After a 10-second countdown, you immediately raise your gun toward the alley entrance and pull the trigger. The ammunition inside can temporarily disperse the fog. As your vision clears and you're ready to fire again, the sudden appearance of a familiar figure before you leaves you almost breathless. Neither of you expected to meet like this, and you both stagger back hastily. Look, what are you doing here? He unconsciously touches his face, and after confirming that his mask is still on, he sighs, feeling both sad and relief.
揚力を遮断するはずなのに、お前だけは騙せないなんてな。悪いけど、今は事情を説明する時間がない。お前は戸惑い、俺を疑うかもしれないけど、好きにしてくれ。
Though the mask conceals his expression, his eyes are like a silent ocean, suppressing various complex emotions. And you know, all you can give him is a simple few words. I trust you. No matter how hard he tries to imitate your combat style, I can see right through his flaws. You're not doubting how well I know you, are you? Some things are clear enough without explanation. After all, you've entrusted each other with your deepest trust. Despite all the barriers and confusion set up by the outside world, when you meet again, a relief smile can clear away all your doubts.
思わないさ。お前は俺にとって無敵の相棒だからな。じゃあ、時間はないけど聞いてくれ。手短に話す。俺はずっと自分を罠にはめた奴を追いかけてた。やっとそいつの尻尾を掴んでやり合ったんだが、準備のいい奴でな。路地に追い詰めたと思ったら、下水道の隠し通路から逃げちまった。
I had this area sealed off, yet he managed to plan the escape route in advance. Could there be a mole? Does this have something to do with Division 37?
犯人が37捜査局のやつなのかどうかはまだ探ってるところだ。何人かは目星がついてるけどな。
Before you can reach a conclusion, the signals from the rescue team interrupts your conversation with Locke.
じゃあ、そろそろ行くな。これ以上いても面倒なことになる。必ず真相を突き止めて、お前の元に帰ってくる。だから、待っててくれ。
Even though you know that parting is for a better reunion, you can't accept just waiting like this. As Luke is about to leave, you gently hold his hand and whisper to him. No, I will reach your side even faster than you.
わかった。じゃあ、こっからは、俺とお前の勝負だな。
Seeing that long-missed carefree smile, you feel a flutter in your heart.
残りの人生、全部をかけて。
Omnispirit's Bureau. After returning to the Omnispirit's Bureau, you report the situation in Zone C to the director, except for the encounter with Luke.
揚力を遮断した状況下の逃亡か。内通者がいるのは疑いようもないな。
Only a few people know about my operation to Zone C. This task is highly confidential. You don't put it too directly. If there is indeed a mole in the higher-ups of Omnispirit's Bureau, every move you make has to be more cautious. Perhaps noticing your concerns, the director lets out a resigned sigh.
君は上級捜査官になって日が浅かったな。警戒するのも無理はないが、確かに万霊町の内部は特殊な状況に置かれている。 しかし、我々も調査を進めているところなんだ。
If the director were the mole, you wouldn't be standing here safe and sound after investigating the Elysian Street case all this time. After thinking for a while, you decide to test him a bit. Director, what kind of place is the Division 37? Everything about it is kept confidential. Even senior agents have very limited access to it. He remains composed as if he has anticipated you would ask such a question.
万霊町の中でも37捜査局は特別で数々の因縁が絡み合っている。人間種と妖怪種が今日の平和を保っているのは水面下に処理されたあまたの出来事があったからだ。37捜査局は大衆に見えざる刃、時として力のある罪人をも取り立てる。
What he said clears the confusion that has been lingering in your mind. Why did Luke mention Division 37 in the interrogation room? And why is Luke, who was sentenced to prison, not in jail but instead in Zone C? All signs indicate that Luke has joined Division 37, but somehow you feel there's more to it.
まだ天下通りの事件を追い続けているな。君のこれまでの努力はこの目で見てきた。私は誇りに思うよ。上級捜査官となり、より多くの責任を担うものだと証明し続けたことを。だから、いよいよ過去の事実を打ち明ける時が来たのかもしれない。
You instantly concentrate, and after a brief pause, he finally speaks the name you've been seeking for a long time.
当時の水瀬君の処遇については、内部でも激しい議論が行われた。意見が対立していたんだ。だが、世論のため、人とあやかしの平和のため、次第に彼を擁護する声は減っていった。今思えば、あの事件には不可解な点が多く残されていた。早急に結論を出すべきではなかったのだ。すまなかった。
I can't respond to this belated apology. Luke is the one who's been through the pain after all. However, if I get the chance, I'd like to let Luke know. Not everyone suspected him back then. In fact, many of his comrades, his mentor, and his partners still believe in him. The director is momentarily stunned into silence. While he is moved, you take the chance to make a request. What does it take to join Division 37, Director?
君がその話をしてきたときに、こうなることは分かっていたよ。いいだろう。37捜査局の責任者である瀬戸中文は、水瀬君の有罪を強く主張した一人だ。シークの事件は捜査不足とし、脅威レベルを引き上げる。これを口実に、37捜査局への協力を申請し、合同捜査隊を編成する。その隊長を君が務めなさい。それから、37捜査局は、最近になってその行動指針が過激になりつつある。何か関連性があるかもしれない。詳しく調べてみるといい。
Understood. Leave it to me. Division 37. A few days later, you arrive at Division 37. Though it's under the Omnisphere's burrow, the atmosphere here is as cold as a prison. The moment you step through the door, countless eyes are watching you maliciously in the shadows. Following the procedure, you have a brief handover with Raymond Rock, who doesn't seem very welcoming of your arrival.
万霊長直々の命令とはいえ、我々にも規則がある。弱者とは慣れ合わないというな。
He openly has disdain for you, but handling such doubts is nothing unusual to you. Choosing the training ground for our first meeting, isn't it just a way to see what I'm capable of, Chief Rock? Let's put it to the test and see if I'm really as weak as you think.
ほう。ローズ捜査官が噂通りの人物かどうか見せてもらおうか。人員が必要なら相手を打ちのめし、指揮官としての力を示さなければならない。対戦相手を選ぶといい。
You look around but can't find Luke anywhere. Luke's identity is special, so I guess he deliberately keeps us from meeting. I need to find a way to make a stir. No need to choose, I only team up with the strongest. Like a spark in dry hay, your provocative words send the entire place into an uproar. Immediately, a burly man leaps onto the training ground, menacingly swinging a massive mace.
大口叩きやがって。その痩せっぽっちな体でこの一撃に耐えられるかどうか見てやるよ。
He must have used all his demonic power to enhance his muscles. A direct hit would likely be fatal. However, judging from the flow of power in his body, his joints remain quite vulnerable. After spotting his weakness, you don't wait a second and attack before he can finish speaking. Using your speed advantage, you avoid his attack zone and circle around to his blind spot.
はや
Before he can make any defensive moves, you hit hard behind his knees, forcing him to fall to the ground. This level, certainly not the strongest. Roman Rock's face grows gloomy, probably because he hasn't expected you to defeat his subordinate so ruthlessly. The whole crowd bursts into an uproar, with many people cracking their knuckles, eager to challenge you. What you're about to face will likely be a long and grueling attrition battle until he has no choice but to send Luke to confront you. There are about 40 people in the training ground and quite a few more lurking in the shadows. They are more dishonorable than expected, and soon you find yourself surrounded by several people. What's this? Is everyone here supposed to be the strongest? Chief Rock, is this what you call a test? I didn't expect this level of unfairness from you.
37捜査局に公平という言葉はない。あるのは実力、それだけだ。真の強者は右往の衆に煩わされることはないのだからな。
A cruel smile appears on his sinister face. Perhaps because he feels certain of winning, he doesn't bother hiding his intentions. He tries to stop this collaboration by using your supposed lack of ability as an excuse. He even goes as far as threatening you to quit voluntarily. Roman Rock is definitely up to something. I can't let him get away with it. They gradually narrow their circle to restrict your movements, and you catch a glimpse of someone on the side secretly fumbling for something in his chest. This smell is an illegal drug used for demonic power control. How could Division 37 be using this? The situation is more critical than expected, leaving you no time to think of a countermeasure. At the critical moment, a blue shadow descends from the sky. Before he even arrives, his blade flashes like a fleeting shadow to instantly send all the people surrounding you flying. And he effortlessly draws your attention and steals your breath away. It's Luke. As if answering your silent cry, Luke lands before you with his blade in hand, his clothes billowing in the wind as he smiles confidently.
37捜査局で最強のやつを探してるんだって。俺がいないところで面白いことやってんな。
みなせ、寮で待機しろと言っただろう。命令に逆らうとは何事だ。
命令
Hearing his condescending question, Luke's lips curl into a disdainful smirk. As he removes the mask on his face, his demonic power rages like a hurricane, forcing everyone to take several steps back.
37捜査局は実力主義。お前の決めたルールだろ。
He means that Raymond Rock's strength is not worthy of commanding him. Upon hearing Luke's arrogant remarks, he just frowns and falls silent, seemingly having some concerns. After dealing with Raymond Rock, Luke glances around, his overbearing presence gradually spreading, making others feel intimidated.
揃いも揃って37捜査局の面汚しじゃないか。こいつは俺の獲物だ。俺以外手を出すな。
Since no one dares to stand against him, Luke drops his intimidating demeanor and turns to face you, lifting his chin a bit provocatively.
久しぶりだな。2年前の天下通り事件の後、苦労したって聞いたけど、俺に復讐するためにこんなとこまで来たのか？度胸あるな。
If Raymond Rock is connected to the mastermind, putting yourself in opposing positions would lower his guard. Over the past 2 years, only a handful of people know that you've been secretly searching for evidence to clear Luke's name. In the eyes of the public, you've always been a pitiful investigator who once was betrayed by Luke. You immediately understand Luke's intentions and pretend to be hostile. I originally came here just to work on a case, but I never expected to run into an old friend. But I don't mind using this opportunity to settle some past scores between us.
へえ、いいぜ。俺のローズ捜査官の実力ってやつを確かめさせてくれよ。
Luke turns his blade and uses a move to invite you to spar, a habit known only between the two of you since many years ago. Your body moves almost on muscle memory to launch an attack, and Luke blocks it without the slightest hesitation.
昔とは違うってわけか。思いっきり楽しめそうだ。
Likewise, both of your demonic powers clash again and again, with sparks flying like a meteor shower. Every inch of the ground trembles with your powers, and even the battle-hardened members of Division 37 are all shocked.
あいつの本気なんてめったに見られないのに、あの姉ちゃん互角にやり合ってるよ。
二人とも容赦ないな。一歩間違ったら死ぬか大怪我かだ。天下通り事件の因縁ね。かつての仲間が敵か。こいつは面白い。
Because of countless practice in the past and your deep understanding of each other, Luke and you can go all out in every move. With a bond that transcends life and death, you entrust your lives to each other, firmly believing your partner will make the perfect move. As the battle grows more intense, Raymond Rock's expression becomes increasingly grim, and everyone gradually begins to realize something.
あっちは上から派遣されてきたんだ。もしも死ぬようなことがあっちゃやばいんじゃないか。
Raymond Rock wanted you to back off, but Luke's appearance undoubtedly disrupted his plan. At this moment, he has to step forward to stop you two, unleashing his strong demonic power to interrupt the match. Even though he tries his best to remain restrained, you can still sense that familiar demonic power fluctuating from within. He also has Tawus power. You exchange glances with Luke and understand his hint. He has been undercover in the Division 37 to investigate Raymond Rock.
よく聞け。我々の最終目標は合同捜査隊の結成であり、決して殺し合いなどではない。ローズ捜査官、水瀬は37捜査局の最強戦力だ。君たちは共に任務に励んだ仲だろう。再び手を組んだらどうだ。
Rock suddenly changes his attitude, probably believing that your team up with Luke would not go smoothly. Perfect, I'll play along with it. Working together, this task has a very high risk level and I can't guarantee his safety.
安心したまえ。37捜査局の者は死を恐れない。ここを離れた時、君たちの確執には一切介入しないことを約束しよう。
These two seemingly unrelated statements are actually hinting that you could attack Luke elsewhere, and it wouldn't matter if it cost him his life.
邪魔が入らないなら助かるよ。こいつとの因縁は自分で片をつける。
Luke casually pulls his blade between you and Rock, and these seemingly sharp gestures actually mask a silent communication with you.
まあ、今回はお手柔らかに頼むよ。長官殿。
Times have changed, and your roles may be different now, but some things will never change no matter how much time passes. They remember it deep in your hearts. In a faint, indifferent tone, you say the words that have long been bottled up. Yeah, we're going to be partners again, Joke. Interrogation room. To avoid drawing attention, Luke and you arrange to meet in the interrogation room using secret whispers. After all the twists and turns, you finally have time to talk properly, though the atmosphere isn't nearly as serious as imagined. The moment you see each other, you both burst into laughter and start teasing each other right away. Look, you're truly a professional actor now.
お前がうまいこと合わせてくれたから、いつも以上の力を出せたんだよ。でも、見ないうちに本当に強くなったな。お前の攻撃をさばききれないかと思ったぞ。
As he speaks, Luke seems to realize something, and his smile gradually fades away.
この2年間、何があった？
The memories of those 2 years separated from Luke are like a dark box sealed away in a corner, something you never open while conscious. Because you know there are many negative emotions hidden inside: pain, anger, sadness, and an unshakable sense of guilt. If only you had been stronger back then, strong enough to clear away any darkness in the mist, would that have prevented from everything from happening? It's nothing. Luke holds the key to that lockbox, and only he can shatter the armor of your pretenses. Sorrow creeps in silently, but your ancient instincts force you to suppress your emotions and stay calm. Luke opens his mouth but says nothing. Sometimes the words just feel powerless and inadequate. Before you can think about how to react, he moves first as he pulls you into his embrace.
俺の前で無理をしないでくれ。いいな。
You can clearly feel Luke's steady heartbeat through your pressed together chest. It's so real and so reassuring. All negative emotions are washed away, and you can finally whisper the words you've always wanted to say. I miss you, Luke. His warm embrace suddenly tightens, and the whispers of love come to your ear.
俺も会いたかった。やっと見つけた。これで、あの時の勝負は俺の勝ちだな。お前の人生、俺がもらっていいよな。
I found you, Luke. His warm embrace suddenly tightens, and the whispers of love come to your ear.
ずっと、一人で霧の中にいると思ってた。でも俺は、お前って光が差し込むのを待っていたんだ。あの時の勝負は、お前の勝ちみたいだな。負けを認めるよ。 俺の人生もらってくれるだろう。
The bad about the rest of life mentioned at parting isn't a joke to lighten the mood, but rather a trap, he has said. Your mind is in such a tangle that you can't sort out your thoughts. Just then, the mark on your neck gives a slight reaction.
2年前の印、まだ消えてなかったんだな。
Alright, I haven't had the chance to ask you about this mark yet.
だよな。お前は意識を失ってたから。ほら、あの時は危険な状況だったろ。俺には自分の力を流し込むことしかできなかった。頭骨の気配を残して、お前を他の被害者に見せかけたんだ。相手に手を出されないようにな。
No wonder when I followed up with the investigation later, he didn't seem to notice me for several times. So for these 2 years, Luke has been accompanying and protecting you in his own way. But why is the mark on my neck? How did you... The lost memories suddenly rushed back into your mind, but then, just like now, you were nestled in his embrace as you were about to lose consciousness. His lips landed right on your nape, and then he places a kiss there. Your heart skips a beat, and all your usual emotional control techniques fail at this moment.
悪い。あれは緊急で。
I understand. I'm not blaming you. It's just... Instead, you suddenly understand what those strange feelings meant when you touched the mark in the past. Time brings not only trials but also the deepening of your feelings for each other. However, it's not the time to pour out your heart. You take a deep breath to calm yourself down and then ask Luke with a serious expression. Ramon Rock must be the real culprit behind the Elysian Street case, right? The intimate atmosphere comes to an abrupt halt. Luke unconsciously shows a look of grievance, though he quickly returns to the matter at hand.
そうだ。この数年間、証拠を集め続けてきた。お前が来てくれたことで、最後のピースが揃ったんだ。瀬戸が人前で実力を見せることは滅多になかったけど、さっきは戦いを止めるために本来の力を出してた。今なら断言できる。あいつも頭骨の力を持っているってな。
2 years ago, when you applied to join Division 37, were you already suspicious of him back then?
お前も知っての通り、俺は頭骨の力の出所を探してる。
You know that Luke has told you about this before. I remember you mentioned those fragmented memories. Your power might have come from Tao Wu's experiment. But that experiment was terminated and all related documents in the Omnispirit's Bureau were destroyed. Did you find anything else afterward?
なあ、いくら実験が終わったからって、あんな巨大な施設がいきなり消えるとは思えなくてさ。ちょうど同時期に37捜査局が設立されてるんだよ。これは絶対に偶然なんかじゃない。
Come to think of it, I once used my senior investigator authority to look into some files sealed by the Omnispirits Bureau. The Omnispirits Bureau has experienced several upheavals in the past, and Division 37 was established due to an incident where monsters escaped and injured humans. At that time, most agents were on task, and ordinary people with weak demonic powers were almost defenseless against the monsters. In fact, demonic power is given to human by monster, which is why even in today's peaceful society, there are still many people who are wary of monsters.
その事件をきっかけに、瀬戸があやかしに排他的な人たちを集めて37捜査局を作ったわけか。実力者であれば、原型と引き換えに重犯罪者だって仲間に引き入れてるくらいだからな。
The Omni Spirit's Bureau is somewhat secretive about its stance on Division 37, yet it doesn't fully curb its development. The reason is simple. Demonic power is a force bestowed by monsters, and humans instinctively fear things more powerful than themselves. Resistance is likewise a survival instinct. Let's say our assumptions are correct. Roman Rock also possesses Star Wars power and is the one who freed you. Then what was his purpose in doing this?
多分、実験が中止になったことと関係がある。瀬戸は、頭骨の力を完全に制御してるわけでもないんだ。
It means some cases might not have been part of his plan, and to avoid getting into trouble himself, he's making you the scapegoat. The mention of out of control power makes Luke frowns, and you realize that he's worried about something. The powers of Ramen Rock and Luke should both come from the lab. Following this line of thought, it's hard not to imagine the worst case scenario. Perhaps sensing how your emotions shift with his lead, Luke shrugs his shoulders, lightening the heavy mood in the air.
反対に、俺の力は暴走なんかしてないぞ。見ての通り、体も健康そのものだからな。むしろ頭骨の力を使えば使うほど、このつながりは冷たい実験によるものでなく、もっと温かいものだって分かってきた。だからこそ、俺は知りたいんだ。瀬戸が掴んでいる情報の中に、俺が求める真相がある。そんな気がするんだよ。
He is the director of Division 37. Although he is starting to show his true colors now, it won't be easy to get him to confess. Unless...
あいつに自分から動いてもらって、その隙を狙うしかない。
As if reading your mind, he voices your thoughts, then lifts his chin proudly, seeking your praise for this perfect sync. You can't help but reach out to pat his head, his silky hair brushing against your palm with a tickling sensation. Wow, that's amazing! Great minds think alike.
こんなとこ、誰かに見られちまったと考えたら、ゾッとするな。
Now that you mention it, your presence at the training ground was quite different from before, wasn't it?
ああでもしないと場が収まらなかったろう。瀬戸に誤解させたかったんだよ。すべてを失った俺は身も心も崩壊寸前で好きだらけだってさ。
He uses a few casual words to sum up his pain, as if the wounds had never cut deep. In fact, Raman Brock had misjudged from the start. He underestimated Luke's resilience. Adversity would only sharpen him further. We just had a showdown at the training ground. He thought there's bad blood between us and deliberately arranged for us to work together. He must be trying to use my power against you, and he might make his move during this operation. So we still gotta act like we hate each other until he makes a wrong move. After making this plan, you suddenly realize the difficulty in implementing it. Do I always have to be this tough on you? I feel like I'm the one who's going to crack first. Luke and you have always been partners, but now you've become his commander.
あいつらは怖い上官には慣れっこだから、練習して感覚をつかんでおいた方がいいかもな。だってお前は37捜査局最強の男を服従させるんだろ？
Luke's playful tone stirs up your desire to win. Alright then, let me give it a try. In the past, Luke and you had disguised yourself as different identities to complete the task: business partners, siblings, and even lovers. Each roleplay is both a task and an intimate game, allowing you to get closer to each other from different perspectives. This time, you are pretending to be each other's enemies. What kind of attitude will you use to interact with each other? The whips scattered around the interrogation room become the perfect props for this practice, as you use one to lift Luke's chin. Looking down from above, you put on a commanding air, only to find yourself wavering when you meet Luke's unyielding eyes. The quiet interrogation room imprisons untold secrets in its small space, where something struggles eagerly to break free. He makes no attempt to hide his feelings. Instead, he takes your hand and guides away from his chin down to his Adam's apple.
もっとはっきり命令していい。お前が長官だろ。
You start to wonder, are you playing the conqueror or the one to be conquered? The only certainty is that even if you stand on opposing sides, you cannot escape the fate of being drawn to each other. Look. You caress his cheek, feeling his most genuine presence. You feel more determined than ever before. I command you to stay by my side forever and never leave again. He kneels on one knee, places a kiss on the back of your hand, and speaks the oath.
拝命しました。
Division 37. After that, you continue working with Luke at Division 37 for a month under the pretext of investigating the Zone C case. During this time, you keep escalating the conflict with Luke, making it so public that everyone can see you are at each other's throats. On your way to report to Raymond Rock, there are spies lurking everywhere. You catch the flying dagger shot at your back and quickly put on a cool face. Look, you're not naive enough to think you can kill me with such a simple trick, are you? Ever since you betrayed me that day, I swore I would never leave my back to anyone.
裏切った人と人の信頼なんてそんなもんだろ。世間から後ろ指さされてるうちに唯一の相棒だったやつにも見捨てられて、今じゃそいつは上級捜査官のエリート様だからな。この世界で本当に信じられるのは自分の力だけだ。
Luke runs his fingers along the blade, his icy tone betraying a hint of madness. Anyone could see he is teetering on the edge of danger. But all of this is just a diversion. Luke is buying you time to decode the secret message on the dagger. Rock entered the sealed zone 3 days ago. Division 37 lies a hidden sealed forest area, which is also your key investigation site.
まだ楽しむ時間はたっぷりあるからな。忘れるなよ。お前の命は俺のもんだ。
Luke's harsh words hide concern. He is reminding you not to rush and to deal with Bremen Rock slowly. You shoot the dagger back, you'll probably be searched during your upcoming meeting with Raymond Rock, so you can't leave behind any evidence. Likewise. After this previous change, you turn around and resolutely move toward your respective objectives. Even if you two run in completely different directions, someday you and him will meet at the same place. Office. Raymond Rock's office is furnished very simply, with almost no personal belongings inside except for one old group photo.
ここに写っているのは亡くなった戦友たちだ。任務中の事故で命を落とした者もいるが、37捜査局が設立される前に妖怪の脱獄事件で死んだ者もいる。種族が異なれば心も違う。人間を凌駕する力を持つ妖怪ならなおさらだ。今の平和は偽りではないのか。
He seems to be asking a question, but he doesn't actually give you any time to answer, quickly changing the subject instead.
先ほど外でトラブルがあったと聞いたが。
The so-called trouble is obviously Luke, and while deliberately exaggerating your conflict with Luke, you observe his reaction. The Omnispirit's Burrow were too lenient with him. He killed so many in the Elysian Street case. A their death sentence wouldn't be too enough. Luke was sent to Division 37 as a chance for redemption, but instead he became even more defiant. When the Elysian Street case is mentioned, he remains composed as if those things have nothing to do with him.
あれは頭骨の力に完全に溺れている。自分は何でもできると過信しているんだろう。だが、矮小な人間が教授を従える力を持てるのかあれらが真に人間に友好的なら、四大教授などと呼ばれるはずがあるまい。
Council's ancient texts tell stories of how the monsters caused conflicts and disaster, and these evil beasts were a source of fear in the past. Even now, the four great evil beasts remain mysterious beings. No one knows whether their attitude towards humans is kind of or hostile. Clearly, he wants to use the infamous Star Wu to provoke your malicious suspicions about Luke. You frown in a show of deep contemplation, and seeing you waver, he seizes the opportunity to fan the flames.
水瀬は37捜査局の規律に反して単独行動することが多い。彼が姿を消した時期は一部の事件とも一致する。その中には君が捜査中の飼育事件も含まれている。彼の外出記録があるから確かめるといい。
You're not seriously playing along like you are really starting to believe him. Luke used to be my most trusted partner. I even spoke up for him during the judge's investigation. But later, all the evidence proved that he was the one behind the Elysian Street case. He betrayed my trust. He is getting more twisted now, lost in the strong demonic power, and the blood on his hands just keeps increasing. After Luke was convicted, your activities as his partner were restricted in various ways. To make the investigation easier, you spent these 2 years hiding your true emotions and pretending to be betrayed by Luke. Only Director Chow and a very few close confidants know that you're running around for Luke's sake. Rama Rock must have done quite a bit of investigation on you before inviting you to his plan.
だが、現時点では彼を断罪するわけにはいかない。水瀬が頭骨の力を授かっていることもあり、万霊長は彼の処遇について慎重な立場だ。ただ、特定の状況下であれば、我々37捜査局も特別執行権を行使できる。
What do you mean? After such a long build-up, he finally gets to the point and reveals his trump card.
水瀬が上級捜査官の身に危害を加えた場合、万霊長の承認を得ずにその場で処刑できるのだ。何か気がかりなことでも？
What your answers next is crucial to gaining his trust, so you stare at the real culprit before you, trying to release your long-suppressed rage. Almost got me killed in Elysian Street. Why would anything be holding me back? A dangerous person like him should have been executed 2 years ago, but are you sure you can take him down? After all, he possesses the power of Tao. Seeing your determination to retaliate, his smile grows more enigmatic.
裏を返せば、頭骨の力を失った彼は何ら脅威ではないということだろう。
But even the special device from the Omnispirit's Burrow can only temporarily suppress Tawu's power. It could never leave Luke completely defenseless. Since we're going to be working together, shouldn't you show me some of your cards, G-Frog? After a few rounds of probing, he realizes that it wouldn't be so easy to drag you into this.
装置の他に成長の浄化の力も必要なんだ。暴走する恐れのある頭骨を抑制するために。これこそが君と協力したい真の理由だ。 また装置の起動には莫大なエネルギーがいる。水瀬と頭骨の実験を完全に破壊するチャンスは一度しかない。
Experiment? How come I've never heard of this before? Everything finally starts to connect. You quickly latch onto the keywords and ask him further, and he gradually starts to open up.
あの極秘実験がなければ、水瀬は頭骨と契約を結ぶことはなかっただろう。実験に参加した研究員の中で生き残ったのは私だけ。関連資料は全て封印されてしまった。かつての実験室の跡地は現在封鎖域となっている。37捜査局はそれを保護するために設立されたとも言える。何せそこには今日中の頭骨が封印されているのだからな。
Now that's what I call a trump card. But why was that experiment shut down? Even the Omnispirit's Bureau had to conceal all traces of its existence.
もちろんか弱い人間を真実の痛みから守るためにはそうせざるを得なかった。頭骨は何百何千もの命をたやすく引き裂き、人間はただ狩られる側でしかないと知れば、その恐怖は新たな火種となり争いを生むだろう。それは彼らの望むところではない。
While both humans and monsters share the same vision of peace, Ramarok deliberately excludes himself from it. If you were the only survivor from the lab, then what about Luke?
彼は最も特別な実験体だ。頭骨の巨大な力を受け入れ、拒絶反応を示さない無二の存在。他の実験体は5年以内に異常が生じた。頭骨の影響を受けて気象が一変してしまうのだ。これは実験を中止した一因でもある。まあ、水瀬も発症が少し遅れただけで例外ではなかったようだが。
If the lab can seal away Taowu, they must have equipment that can suppress Luke's power too.
その通りだ。水瀬を封鎖域まで誘い込んだら捕まえられる。封鎖域への不法侵入、上級捜査官への加害行為。二つの罪状をもって彼を処分しても、万霊長から咎められることはない。
Guilty or not, I'm the perfect scapegoat since I'm an outsider who is at the crime scene. You chose not to expose his dark intentions instead of putting on a thoughtful expression of agreement. How can we get Luke into the sealed zone?
それには及ばない。周囲の警戒を緩めれば、彼は自ら侵入するだろう。君たちは共に組んでいた。彼が頭骨の力の出所を探っていたことくらい知っているだろう。
Over the years, Luke has been investigating Ramarok, who in turn also keeps close watch on Luke's every move.
君が追跡することにして封鎖域に入れば、中で何が起ころうと誰にも知られることはない。水瀬のことは好きにするといい。人思いに殺すも、なぶり殺しにするも、君次第だ。
I'm quite excited to see it happen. Interrogation Room. After discussing the cooperation with Ramarok, you meet Luke at the secret safe room and tell him everything in detail.
瀬戸が封鎖域に入ったのは、俺の力を抑制する装置を準備するからだろう。奴の言う通りだ。罠があっても引き下がるつもりはない。
Luke's words are not impulse, but a resolution he made since he was young. Yes, we'll tackle whatever comes our way. Besides, this time we have known his plans in advance. It's not like 2 years ago, when we were caught completely unprepared. Contacting the Omnispirit's Bureau directly might make him worry, but I've left some undercover agents nearby. Don't underestimate me. I'm a senior agent now. For 2 years, you worked hard to gain experience and build connections, all for the moment when you could stand by his side to uncover the truth and welcome the dawn.
ああ、信じてる。お前は俺にとって一番頼りになる長官だからな。
His gentle tone gives Commander a heart-fluttering new meaning, making even the dangers ahead seem insignificant. In the cramped, safe room, Luke and you huddle together in a hidden corner to exchange secret intel. What was once a familiar distance between you two as partners has, at some point, been brought closer by him.
お前から実験室の話を聞くうちに、昔のことを思い出したよ。
The whispers carry Luke's warmth as he shares childhood memories he has never told anyone else.
小さい頃は、ほとんど実験室から出たことがなかったんだ。そんな顔するなよ。別に辛い経験なんてしてないから。実験室といっても、閉鎖的で冷たい場所じゃない。庭や遊び場もあって、いろんなあやかしと一緒に暮らしてた。瀬戸が言ったような実験室じゃなくて、俺の家だった。
He gently rests his head on your shoulder, deliberately nuzzling your neck to let you know he doesn't feel sad. And you feel a sense of relief, knowing that what Luke has been pursuing all along is warm, at least. The world hasn't been too cruel to him.
家のことを考えるうちに、父さんも母さんも優しかったなって思い出してさ。そう、ベンって名前の犬もいて、すごくかっこいいやつだったんだよな。みんなに合わせてやりたいよ。お前に俺の家を知ってもらって、それで。
Luke's voice lowers a bit, yet his breathing grows hotter than before.
俺の家族になってほしい人だって紹介したい。
Luke. Just calling his name isn't enough. You hold his hand, your fingers tightly interlock. We've been family for so long already. Let's go home together.
だな。一緒に帰ろう。
Even if the home in his memories becomes nothing but ruins, you will stay by his side on this wasteland waiting for a new life. Division 37. A few days later in the morning, an alarm suddenly rings out over the entire Division 37, announcing that Luke has broken into the sealed zone. Raman Rock urgently gathers several skilled investigators, including you, and decides to enter the sealed zone to arrest Luke. The sealed zone is vast and has a unique terrain, so Raman Rock orders everyone to split up to better conceal the movements. The radar shows Luke approaching the central area, while everyone else except me has been assigned to areas far from the center. Under his deliberate arrangements, no one would stand in the way of you handling Luke. Similarly, if Luke and you were to have an accident somewhere secluded, he could easily cover up any traces of the crime. The undercover agents are in place. They'll come to my rescue as soon as I give the signal. But everything in the sealed zone is uncertain, especially with the sealed tower inside. You touch the mark on your nape, feeling the subtle connection with Luke. It comforts you more than any radar could. Luke said that the sealed zone was once his home. I wonder how he's feeling about it now. At the same time, in the sealed zone, restricted area. As Luke pushes open the heavy iron door of the sealed zone, long-buried memories deep within his heart are awakened once again. The wind sweeps through the weeds, revealing broken bricks and tiles hidden beneath, as if whispering tales of the past. He seems to have had such a dream, running on a tree-lined path, and someone behind him calling his name with a smile.
夏彦。
The familiar voice stirs something in Luke's heart. He turns around abruptly, only to find nothing but emptiness behind him.
幻聴か。これも瀬戸の仕掛けた罠か。
Luke takes light breath to calm his sudden racing heart. He knows the closer he gets to the truth, the more he needs to stay rational and calm, so he closes his eyes and tries to recall more. The scent of fresh grass in the air, the peculiar chirping of birds, and that lingering sensation buried deep within his heart. They are all trying their best to wake him up.
前に来たことがある。俺はここにいた。
The person who called him Lucky was his closest blood relative. The once unfamiliar words parents becomes more and more vivid as his memories awakens. He is no longer just an outsider, but
夏彦、夏彦。もういつの間にか遠くに行っちゃうんだから。ヒロヒコは足が遅すぎるのよ。せっかく休憩エリアにトレーニング用具を買ったのに。
ダンベルを持ちながらデータ観測してると、あやかしたちが出てきてからかってくるんだよ。
ちゃんと鍛えないと夏彦に置いてかれるわよ。
私どころか、ベンだって追いつけない速さじゃないか。
当然でしょ。私の夏彦は頭骨にも認められた子なんだから。あなた、あっちを見て。
Percival Pierce looks up in response, and a nimble little monkey suddenly descends from above, landing right in his arms.
父さん、母さん、今のかっこよかったら？
母さんの言う通り、体を鍛えておいて正解だったね。夏彦がこんなに大きくなると、抱っこをするのも大変だ。もっとたくましくならないと。
平気平気。もっと早く大きくなって頭骨と契約を結んだら俺が父さんと母さんを守れよ。でもあいつってすごく変なんだ。俺が右って言うと左に行くんだよ。遊んでる時いっつも反対のことしかしなくってさ。
Seeing Luke pouting with his puffed-up cheeks, Rena holds back laughter and pokes the little dumpling in front of her.
夏彦は頭骨とうまくやれているのね。他の人では息もできなくなってしまうから。なんであんなちんちくりんの小豚なのに？そうね。この世界で頭骨をそんな風に言うのはきっと夏彦だけだから。
Luke tilts his head, his young face showing confusion. At times like this, his father would always pat his head and patiently provide the answers.
夏彦、力というのは諸刃の剣でね。人を守るし、傷つける凶器にもなるんだよ。
みんな頭骨に襲われるかもって怖がってるのか？そんなこと絶対するもんか。あいつにも教えるよ。人とあやかしは仲間で仲良く暮らせるんだって。
Innocent and untouched by the wolf's cunning, the young Luke's talk seems to easily dissolve the malice and scheming of the grown-ups.
なら、覚えておいてほしい。本当に怖いのは、力の差ではなく、二つの種族が互いを理解できないことなんだって。契約とは、人とあやかしの交流を結ぶ架け橋だ。だから、父さんと母さんは長年研究を続けてきたんだよ。だけど、いざお前が頭骨の契約者の候補に上がったら、心配でしょうがなかった。まだこんなに小さいのに。
A pair of small hands cup Percival's face, kneading his worried expression into a smile.
大丈夫だよ。だって母さんも言ってたじゃん。俺は特別な人になれるよって。ええ、きっとなれるって って信じてる。
When the wind ceases, memories fade away, but certain words remain forever etched in his heart. He finally remembers those special people, those important words, and the wishes placed upon him. Just like how many children dream of becoming heroes, when he was young, he always wanted to be the one who could form a contract with Tao Wu, even though he couldn't understand what this specialness meant at the time.
特別な人。
Now that he has become a contractor of Tao Wu, his special significance goes far beyond simply granting power.
頭骨は中央エリアの実験室に封印されてる。中に入る前に。
Luke quickly opens his communicator, enters the coordinates, and sends them out. Restricted area. An hour later, you receive a message from Luke and rush to meet him as quickly as possible. After a brief exchange, you finally understand Luke's lost memories and the past stories of the Sealed Zone. The Sealed Zone was originally a large experimental base, home to many humans and monsters. Half of the information that Raymond Rock told you is true. He really is the only researcher who survived from the experimental base. What exactly happened in the Sealed Zone back then?
俺は小さかったから、はっきりと覚えてるわけじゃないが、実験室の方から激しい衝撃が伝わってきたんだ。火山の噴火みたいに。あっという間に周りは廃墟になった。母さんが救命ポットに入れてくれなかったら、俺も死んでたかもしれない。
Luke calmly recounts the accident from his past. While the scars from the past won't easily heal, his will has long overcome all the pain.
瀬戸の情報と後の万霊長の対応から考えると、頭骨の力が暴走して被害の拡大を防ぐために万霊長が奴を封印したんだろうな。
Ramon Rock deliberately conceals the fact that he possesses Tao Wu's power, so he is very likely involved in causing this incident. He has been having you watch all these years and setting you up. Your power of Tao Wu must be what he's after.
集めた手がかりから推理すると、あいつは人体実験を行った。頭骨の揚力に適合する契約者になるために自分を改造したんだ。俺を監視していたのは、俺の身体データを集めるためだろう。
He keeps saying how much he hates monsters, but deep down, he is dying to get his hands on their power.
37捜査局に潜入してる間に、5年前の3層のことについても分かってさ。あれも瀬戸の仕業だったよ。実験施設の大半が壊れちまって、あいつは外からサンプルのデータを集めるしかなかったんだ。
5 years ago, your first task after becoming an official agent of the Omnispirits Bureau was to investigate the cause of an uncontrollable mountain demon together with Luke. Your suspicions from back then have finally been confirmed correct. As I suspected, he has been lying to everyone. Thankfully, Director Chow wasn't fooled, which is why he assigned me to this covert operation.
瀬戸の心はとっくに歪んでる。頭骨の力を使って、どんな惨劇を引き起こすかわからないぞ。
Whatever twisted reasons he had for doing all this, it doesn't change the fact that he hurt Luke, and that's something you can't let go. He must pay the price for this. If he wants to obtain Tao Wu's power, he lures you to the sealed zone because there might be special devices inside. By the way, what kind of experiments were conducted in the sealed zone?
実験って言うけど、異なる種族がいろんな生活の中で関わり合って、お互いの理解を深めていくんだよ。だいぶ前から平和に暮らせる時代になったけど、人はあやかしの力を恐れてるからな。
Did the manager of the sealed zone hope to ease their fear by forging a contract with Tao Wu? Monsters do not easily form contracts with humans, and sharing their power means full acknowledgement. And Tao Wu, a high-ranking monster known for its ferocity, has never had a contractor in all of recorded history.
あ、当時は何千人もの候補者が秘密裏に選ばれて、その中には揚力の相性がいい人も結構いたらしい。だけど全員頭骨に拒絶されちまった。気難しいやつで、なんていうか天の弱なんだよな。
Tao Wu even has a folk nickname, Iron Club, which means it is stubborn, obstinate, and very difficult to persuade. Then how did you make it?
いつだったか、父さんと母さんと一緒に中央の実験室を見学した後、庭で遊んでたんだ。そしたら獣の姿をした頭骨が飛び出してきた。他のあやかしと争って怪我をして小豚に変身して逃げたみたいでさ。
Did you treat its wounds?
そう。あの頃の俺はやんちゃ盛りで、爪を傷つける弁のために獣用の薬を持ち歩いていたからな。だけど頭骨は素直に喜ぶようなやつじゃなかった。それどころかリボンで作った蝶々結びが気に食わなくて噛みついてきたんだよ。そっからは俺と頭骨の喧嘩と言っても、俺はガキだったしあいつには歯が立たなかったんだけど、挙句の果てになぜか俺の師匠ぶってきてさ。そんなの納得できっこないだろ。毎週庭に通って勝負を挑むようになってた。
You've been training in combat with Tao Wu since childhood. Now I know why your combat skills are so much better than those of your peers. The scene of Luke playing around with little piggy Tao Wu pops into your mind, and despite being a professional agent, you can't help but laugh. You try to suppress your urge to laugh, only to find Luke gazing at you with his head tilted, warmth glowing in his eyes. Luke, you were deliberately trying to make me laugh.
そうだよ。お前が笑ったとこ、最近は全然見てなかったし。それに、
Luke bends down and gently touches the unknown wildflower spreading across the ground.
ここには季節ごとにいろんな花が咲いてたはずなんだ。父さんは仕事帰りに花束を買ってきて、花を受け取る母さんの笑顔が好きで、記憶は取り戻したけど、こんな荒れた景色、俺は知らない。だからかな。こんな何もないところが本当に俺の家なのかなんて思ってさ。
He picks the tiny white flower and places it in your palm, then points to his heart.
でもって、そんな冷たい感覚も今はどこかに飛んじまったよ。お前の笑顔がここをいっぱいにしてくれたおかげでな。この先どんな困難があってもお前が笑っていれば大丈夫だ。俺は自分が本当に欲しいものを思い出せる。いくらでも勇気が湧いてくるんだ。
What you've been truly seeking.
俺は家ってやつが何なのか知りたい。自分の家があって毎日花束を送れるような家族がいてほしい。
The pure white flower blooms quietly in your palm, telling a tale of the youth's unspoken romance. You preserve its most beautiful form using the bluebird's power and seal it within your hair ornament, so it can stay close to the mark on your name. I just realized I've received quite a few gifts from you. Once this is all over, I'll have to prepare some nice gifts in return.
こんなのじゃ全然足りないんだからな。この2年間 お前に贈り物をたくさん用意したんだ。でも、一番に送ってやりたいのは、俺の過去と未来と、その全部だよ。
Luke. Luke gazes at the central area of the sealed zone. Though weathered by the passage of time, traces of its former glory could still be seen. That was Luke's home, filled with countless beautiful memories of him.
人生をかけるって言ったろ。すべての型がついた後に、お返しってことで、返事を聞かせてくれよ。
No need to wait until that time. I can tell you right now. You lean forward and take Luke's hand. I accept all of your past and future. Let's reclaim our home, Luke. Central Laboratory. Following his memories, Luke leads you through many obstacles until you finally reach the core lab at the center of the sealed zone. During this time, you keep sending false intel to Raymond Rock to buy more time for preparations. It's so weird. Despite a disaster as devastating as a volcanic eruption, everything inside the lab remains completely intact.
頭骨封印のために、万霊長が中央エリアだけは修繕したんだ。でも、今ある装置は新型、3年以内に作られたものだ。誰かが活動を続けていたことになる。装置の種類からして、妖怪種に実験を行っていたんだろうな。
You quickly take photos of the lab and extract the liquid samples from the bottles as evidence against Ramarok. Director Chow probably doesn't know about this experiment, otherwise he wouldn't have hinted at me to investigate Ramarok.
万霊長は、人とあやかしがより良い関係を築くために作られた。37捜査局のあり方は、その本義に反してる。最悪の事態を防ぐためにも、瀬戸の罪を証明する決定的な証拠が必要だ。
Yes, we've entered the sealed zone according to his plan. He definitely won't miss this opportunity, so he'll absolutely will be here himself. Luke quickly flips through all the files in the lab before he stops at the large door, sensing the fluctuations of demonic power from within.
頭骨はこの中にいる。が、気配が乱れてるな。やっぱり、俺たちが推測した通りだ。瀬戸は肉体改造を行い、頭骨の揚力を強引に奪った。
I see. That's why he could control the demonic power within him, committed those crimes, and then pin everything on you.
瀬戸はもう長くは持たない。頭骨の揚力がその体を食い尽くすだろう。そうなる前に、あいつは真の契約者にならないといけないんだ。
Looking at the experimental chamber filled with eerie green lights, you shudder as all kinds of bad speculations come to mind. You've arrested quite a few mad scientists before, so you know full well how reckless and unethical human experiments can be. Ramen Brock plans to have Luke and you fight each other to death in the sealed zone, so he can not only reap the benefits in the end, but also escape the judgment. The communicator vibrates slightly, indicating through an encrypted message that Ramen Rock has entered the sealed zone. We still have half an hour left. Let's proceed as planned. To deceive him, you must create a convincing scene of a life or death fight. Step 1. Leave behind traces of an intense fight along the path. Step 2. Use demonic power suppressing drug to create the illusion that both of you are severely injured. The drug's effects last about 45 minutes to an hour, and this time window is the most dangerous part of the entire plan. But dealing with crisis has already become a routine part of your job, and without any hesitation, you two take the drug simultaneously. Next. After internal injuries come external ones, but for you, this step is the most difficult. Anatomy class is a required course for agents, and you're absolutely confident in creating terrifying looking wounds with a blade. But the moment you point the dagger at Luke's chest, a strong emotion suppresses your rationality, forcing your hands to freeze midair.
そういやあの時勝手に印をつけちまったよな。これはお前からのお返しってことで。
He gently presses your hands, and in an instant, the warm, viscous blood soaks through your clothes. You almost forgot how to breathe as your heart clenches tightly. Luke holds your blood-stained hands and places a kiss as gentle as a feather on your fingers, offering comfort with his tender touch.
大丈夫だ。痛くない。
He is always like this. Even when he's the one who gets hurt, his first instinct is to comfort you. That familiar smell of his pains your heart, but it also makes you more determined. You take back the blood-stained dagger and lean down to kiss his smiling face. I never want to experience something like this again. I will become stronger. Strong enough to build a home where no one can hurt you.
それは俺が言いたかったんだけど。楽しみにしてるな。
After a brief embrace, you compose yourselves and quietly wait for Ramon Rock to step into the trap. Central Laboratory. The intel from the undercover agents is spot on. He arrived at the central lab on time and the show has finally begun. Luke slumps in the corner of the room with his head down, the blood on his chest already beginning to congeal, looking on the verge of death. You also pretend to be hurt, coughing violently a few times, and look weakly at Ramon Rock. Chief Rock, you're way too late. You're way too late. Why are you alone? Where's the backup?
支援がなくともローズ捜査官なら十分対処できるだろう。私は後処理に来た。
After checking on Luke's condition and confirming that things are developing as planned, he can't help but grin maliciously.
今回はいい駒として働いてくれたな。やはり君は頭骨の力を完全に手に入れたわけではないのだろう。いくら成長の力を持とうが、正面からやり合って勝てるわけがないからな。
He takes out a syringe, attempting to extract Luke's blood.
当時の実験には欠陥があったが、同じ過ちは犯さない。今度こそ。
You quickly throw a dagger to interrupt him.
捜査官、これはどういう意味だ？
Experiment? What are you hiding from me, Ramon Rock? The drug's effects haven't worn off yet. You must try your best to buy some time.
37捜査局の内部事情だ。協力関係が終わった以上、君が知る必要はない。もう出て行ってくれないか。シークの事件については私の方で対処しておこう。一切は他言無用。そうすれば今後君を困らせることはないと約束する。
His implied threat is clear. If it weren't for your status as a senior agent, he probably wouldn't have hesitated to attack you. Okay. Your straightforward answer instantly arouses his suspicion. His attention immediately shifts from Luke to you. Under his watchful eyes, you slowly move toward the door, and at the moment you push it open, you pretend to accidentally let the lab photos you took earlier slip out.
待つんだ。ポケットの中身を出せ。
He took the bait. You're not my direct superior. You have no authority to command me.
私の縄張りで逆らうつもりか。自分にその実力があるのかどうか、よく考えた方がいい。
Being severely wounded and without any backup, you can only sluggishly toss the photos on the ground from a distance. After just a glance of them, his face darkens dramatically, and he quickly takes out his weapon, aiming it at your vital spot.
37捜査局に来た本当の目的は何だ？
The case in Zone C and Luke.
それでごまかせると思うない。丸山はどこまで知っているんだ？
By Chow, he obviously meant the director of the Omnispirits Bureau. Seeing how uneasy he is, you figure it's a perfect time to dig up some info. Turn yourself into the bureau while you still can. You know, conducting unauthorized experiments on Tao is a serious crime.
誰も知らない罪なら罪には問われまい。私の戦友は妖怪に殺されたが、うやむやにされて終わりだった。君を始末し、水瀬との交戦で死んだと言えば、誰が私を疑うと思う？
Killing me would only make Director Chow more suspicious of you. Besides, you feel your demonic power gradually recovering, and at this moment, Luke moves his finger slightly, signaling to you. I no longer control Tao's power. When a long-hidden secret is suddenly exposed, even the most composed person will be caught off guard. Spotting Ramarok's unguarded moment, Luke moves swiftly behind him and executes a flawless takedown. Without giving him any chance to fight back, Luke swiftly cuffs his hands with power-suppressing handcuffs and kicks his weapon away.
動くな。
The Omnispirits Bureau will soon send people to surround this place and expose all your secrets. I advise you to confess now. How did you commit those crimes in Elysian Street and Zone C and then frame Luke for them? After such a shocking turn, most people would panic and choose to plead guilty, but he remains unusually calm, simply looking Luke and you
2
thoughtfully.
年間の断絶があろうと互いを信じ合う。私にもかつてそんな親しい相手がいたよ。だが、彼女は私をかばって妖怪に殺された。人間と妖怪の平和を守るだと。笑わせるな。隠れて実験をやっていたことがなんだ。人間を妖怪の迫害から守っていただけだ。妖力を完全に分析し、人の手で制御してこそ真の平和を手に入れたことになる。
真の平和だと。なら、封鎖区域で起きた事故は何だったんだ。亡くなった何万もの命はお前と無関係だというつもりか。
A flicker of gloom passes through his eyes, but he shows no signs of guilt.
君の両親は感情を寄せ合って頭骨と対等な契約を結び、人間が妖力を得ることを望んでいた。その結果はどうだ？何千人もの候補者が不合格となり、たった一人の幼い子供が選ばれただけだ。彼らは人間の裏切り者に過ぎない。契約と称して妖怪どもの操り人形を作ろうと。
黙れ！
Upon hearing him insult his parents, Luke can no longer contain his anger and grabs him by the collar. But Ramarok doesn't stop at all.
彼らはとっくに妖怪に洗脳されていたんだ。死んで当然だろう。私に殺されたのではない。頭骨の暴走した妖力に殺されたんだ。所詮教授は教授。妖怪なんぞを信じた報いだよ。水瀬、君は契約者だが、本当に頭骨を制御できると思うのか？
The lab light suddenly begins to flicker, and you sense an unusually strong surge of demonic power within the room. Ramarok goes as far as sacrificing his life to release the demonic power, allowing it to return to the sealed tower. The already unstable tower aura instantly becomes even more chaotic, almost bursting through from the other side of the door.
瀬戸37捜査局を道連れにするつもりか。
所詮は死んで当然の罪人の集まりだからな。頭骨の力を支配できないなら、妖怪の恐怖と狂気を世に知らしめよう。君は無力だ。今度は誰も頭骨を止められはしない。
Amidst Trevor Rock's manic laughter, the entire seal zone begins to shake violently as Tower roars in fury. With a deafening bang, the metal alloy sealed door is stuck with such force it leaves a huge dent, and the shockwave nearly knocks you to the ground.
危ない。
Luke holds you protectively as he dodges the sharp fragments flying everywhere. You immediately use the power of the bluebird to calm Tawu's power, but you almost get hit by the backlash. It has completely gone berserk. If this continues, it won't just affect the sealed zone. The entire Hatsu city will suffer.
だったらいい方法がある。俺を信じてくれ。
Luke's embrace tightens slightly around you, his firm arms gradually calming you down.
頭骨の揚力から抑え込もうとする力も感じるんだ。頭骨は散々実験で苦しめられてきた。そのせいで揚力が戻る時にも全身に痛みが走って暴走しちまったんだろう。俺は契約者だから揚力を分け合えばそれを和らげることができる。
But it will also cause a lot of harm to your body.
だからお前が必要なんだ。俺を助けてくれ。間違って死んだとしてもお前の腕の中なら。
Without answering, you wrap your arms around Luke's neck, transferring your demonic power to him without any reservation. The tower's rampaging and violent power twists into a black storm, trapping you and him in the center of the collapse. As if swallowed by a giant beast, boundless darkness descends again, attempting to devour you completely. Luke keeps absorbing Tao's power while the soul contract forces him to endure excruciating pain.
まだこんなところで。
However, even after you drain the last bit of your demonic power, the storm still continues. Strangely, you feel no fear at all. In the darkness, Luke and you hug each other tightly, as if the chaos of the outside world is getting further away. Suddenly, a beam of light envelops Luke and you tightly, like a pair of warm hands straddling you across time and space.
夏彦。
父さん母さん。
父さんの足が遅くて夏彦の成長に追いつけなくなってしまったようだね。
いつかはそうなるものだけどね。親がゆっくり歩いていれば子供の背中を守れるんだから。私たちができるのは頭骨の力を一時的に沈めることだけよ。でもね、頭骨もずっとあなたを待っていたの。
契約は平等なものだ。君たちは魂を分かち合う仲間だろ。
分かってる。
私の子だもの。あなたを信じてる。私のように互いに命をかけられる人も見つけたみたいだし。
The gentle gaze falls upon you, wiping away the tears Luke has been holding back in his eyes.
父さん母さん行かないでくれ。話したいことがたくさんあるんだ。
ええ、わかってる。本当に今までよく頑張ったね。
The encounter, lasting but a few dozen seconds, is filled with too many complex emotions which words alone can convey. In the end, with a teary smile, he quietly bids his parents farewell, firmly imprints their looks in his mind, and hopes for their eventual reunion. The light gradually fades as they transform into two streams of demonic power flowing into Luke and you.
夏彦、特別な人になるんだよ。
二人とも任せたわ。
はあ、彼女と一緒にやってみせるよ。
Dust of Transience Street. A year later. It's been quite a while since the Tower Rampage incident, but the aftermath has only now been truly resolved. Rammer Rock died in that accident, but his past crimes are not buried with him. Instead, they are completely exposed to the public. Luke has finally cleared his name, regained his agent identity, and within just a few months, earned a promotion to senior agent.
長官殿。いやいや、今は局長殿って呼ぶべきかな。
Luke, you're teasing me again.
そんなことできないよ。職場でも家でも、お前のが偉いんだからさ。
Division 37 is disbanded under public outcry, and meanwhile, the hidden divide between the monsters and humans becomes a heated topic. Though there are many radical views and even nearly local conflicts, Luke fortunately arrives just in time and resolves the commotion in just a few rounds. His dominance in that battle is absolute, and from that day forth, Luke, the contractor of Tao, becomes a living emblem of human-monster peaceful coexistence. He has become someone special who is crucial to both races, just as his parents hoped. Taking this opportunity, the Omnispirits Bureau decides to rebuild the sealed zone to create a more ideal special zone where humans and monsters can coexist. You become the manager of this zone and build a new home with Luke, naming it Dust of Transience Street. The name embodies the pursuit of truth and inner peace amidst life's complexities, the wish to stay your true self, and the expectations of a peaceful life together. Today marks the establishment of Dust of Transience Street. An arc of light suddenly streaks across the night sky like a falling star, which is the trail left behind by the wings of a soaring dragon. It hovers in the air and suddenly breathes out scorching flames to light up the countless lanterns filled with wishes. The fireworks unveil the grand celebration, their brilliant lights illuminating the entire street as bright as day. It's beautiful, look. All our hard work this year has paid off.
ああ、
Luke doesn't linger on the beautiful scenery before him. The fireworks flicker in his eyes before reflecting entirely onto you. He seems to be lost in thought. You smile and take his hand, walking together into the sea of bright lights. We shouldn't just focus on work today. Let's relax and stroll around the fair.
わかった。俺の時間は全部お前にやるよ。やりたいことがあるなら何だって付き合う。
The gentle chime of bells echoes from afar. Every night, you and Luke stand by the window hand in hand, listening to the passage of time. Companionship is Luke's yearning for home, and his promise to you for the rest of your life. What about you? What would you like to do?
いいのか？そんなこと言われたら途中でやめられなくなっちまうぞ。最初はあやかしには特別な料理があるんだけど、そいつをお前に作ってやりたい。子供の頃大好きでさ。それで今住んでるとこは広すぎて寂しいから屋内にキャンプ場を作っちまうのはどうだ？あとはそれからお前と一緒にどんなこともやってみたい。この世界にある素晴らしいものを全部分かち合いたいんだ。
He pauses for a moment, holding your hand tightly, as if trying to convey all his unspoken words through this brief touch.
たとえいい経験ができなくても、お前となら大切な思い出になるよ。だって、俺が思う素晴らしいものは、みんなお前の形をしてるからさ。 俺の家族で愛する人で帰る場所なんだ。
You mean just as much to me too, Luke. Through the countless trials, you two finally reached the harbor called home, welcoming a poetic and happy ending. But after a brief rest, you'll soon embark on a new journey because your imagination of home is endless. You want to fulfill all his wishes and draw strength from his embrace to move forward, walking hand in hand through the rest of your lives. All other wounds have been treated. Now we need to purify the filth energy. Look, hang in there a little longer.
大丈夫だ。そんなに深い傷じゃないし、致命傷でもない。
You took such reckless risks just to protect that demon child, didn't you?
悪い。心配かけたな。
Rushing to protect the weak without hesitation. That's so typical of you. I feel more lucky than worried, but because I have the power of the bluebird to back you up.
じゃあ、俺もお前がいてくれてよかったな。今日も頼んだぞ。なんか首に触られるのって変な感じだ。傷跡は痛みだけじゃなくて思い出を刻むこともある。痛くないけどここら辺はむずがゆい。楽になったよ。ふぅ、体だけじゃなくて心の方もな。
The purification is complete. You can lie down and rest for a while. I'll close the door.
待った。もう終わっちまったのか？何か忘れてないか？
Are you still feeling unwell somewhere?
体の傷はもちろんだけど、心を癒すならそばにいてくれなきゃ。大きな任務のたびに1週間くらい会えなくなるし。
Well, once we finish the phase 2 construction task for the Dust of Transience Street, we can finally take a proper vacation together, right? I miss you too. Perhaps this companionship therapy works both ways.
だろう。これからできる限りは一緒の時間を大切にってな。その指が触れるときに俺はお前のぬくもりをどれだけ求めていたか実感するんだ。当然俺もお前を癒したいしぬくもりを分けてやりたい。お前が帰る家だからさ。